Warning, the views and beliefs in the following program does not reflect the views of Boom Broadcasting. We give full creative control to our creators and do not believe in cancel culture. Ladies and gentlemen, Raw is on Netflix tonight, the debut episode. Welcome to season 2 of the Nightcap on Boom Broadcasting. Viewer discretion is advised.
Live from the MOWM studio, Boom Broadcasting presents The Nightcap. And your host of The Nightcap, mouthing off with Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nightcap here on Boom Broadcasting, hosted by yours truly. Yes, it's me. Yes, it's me. It's M-I-K-E. It's the man that likes to mouth off. It's mouthing off with Mike here in the building, kicking off season 2 of the Nightcap here on Boom Broadcasting. We've got a lot to talk about here about the debut episode of Raw on Netflix. But before we get there, I got to introduce my tag team partner here tonight on the Nightcap. He is the prez of Boom Broadcasting. He is a good brother, dare I say, one of the best brothers I know. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Michael Davis. How the hell are you, Michael Davis?
I'm doing great. I don't have the fudge. We're an hour later than we have been the last couple months. So I'll be honest, I'm not as prepped for the 11 o'clock nightcap. So I have a little help here. I have a little help. This may knock me out like coffee usually does, or it may keep me up till 6 a.m. So we'll see what happens. But dude, what a debut for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It was fantastic.
I couldn't have asked for a better episode debut for Monday Night Raw here. Man, we have so much to break down. Ladies and gentlemen, tell us your thoughts. We're going to get to these comments here as we go through the show. Come on in. Come hang out with us. Have a nightcap here after Raw on Netflix. Mike, from the jump, a year ago around this very time, you and I were on Drop the Mic Wrestling. We were talking about the massive news, not only The Rock being on the board of TKO, but also the news that Raw would be going to Netflix. A year later, Mike, the first episode has come and went as of 5 minutes ago. Tell me your thoughts from a year ago to now. Did you ever expect it to be this hype?
Oh, absolutely not. Thinking of just like where everything was a year ago is absolutely wild. Boom Broadcasting wasn't even a thing. Raw, it felt like it was always going to be on USA Network. And when these rumors started happening with Netflix showing up, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is just to get the price tag higher for USA and get more money. And then it actually happened, and was a little skeptical. And I know a lot of people freaked out because of the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson boxing fight that was presented free on Netflix live streaming. And then Christmas Day happened with the NFL, and it was like, okay, they got their ducks in a row. But dude, this Raw on Netflix has just elevated the game. I'm friends with several wrestlers on social media and everything, and they're saying this changed the game. Like, they enjoyed it, and this changed the game based on where the industry is going. And tonight is going to be a historic night that we're going to remember for years and years to come.
You hit the nail right on the head, my tag team partner here. This changed the game. This is game changing, and no better person to start off the Raw Netflix era than the game. Triple H ushering us in to the Netflix era. Man, I didn't know what to expect when I saw on social media about 30 minutes, an hour before the show went live, when I saw a big curtain over the ring. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on. And we saw tonight the ring changes, the overall the overall graphics that we saw, the setup. Listen, and I gotta keep it real here. Them Los Angeles Clippers, they're a very lucky organization. Fans that get to go to that arena on the regular for basketball games, concerts, tonight with Monday Night Raw. That is a futuristic-esque arena, from the LED lights to the seats to the way the stage was set up, the drone footage, everything looked absolutely incredible here tonight, man. A lot of people are hopping on in the Nightcap. I say the more the merrier. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Shout out to Nathan. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk was good, but it wasn't on the same level as Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. Nathan, I'm gonna have to check in with you at a later date and time. I didn't get a chance to watch Wrestle Dynasty this past weekend. I heard it was a great show. I heard this was an incredible match, so I'm excited to get there. Great to see you as well here. Great to see you. What's going on? We got Emmy Lou in the building. Disappointed we didn't get Penta's debut tonight. Disappointed. But it looks like Penta is going to go up against Chad Gable next week. Mike, what do you think about Chad Gable versus Mystery Luchador? Is it Penta? Are we going to be saying Zero Miedo next Monday on Raw in San Jose?
Dude, this is the perfect way to introduce him. Obviously, we figured out like last week, there was no doubt based on the design of the mask and then the promo and vignette we see tonight where it literally spells out Penta. And now Chad Gable goes out and he's like, I want to wrestle the best luchador, the greatest luchador you have. And Adam Pearce is like, oh, I got an idea. And I can guarantee that after Penta is done with Chad Gable, Gable's going to go to Nick Aldis and be like, I'm transferring to Friday Night SmackDown. It's going to be perfect. Seeing Penta in the ring just immediately with Chad Gable is such a great decision by creative. And yeah, Penta didn't get to debut tonight. There were a couple returns we wanted, and we didn't get those. Like, we were talking about Becky Lynch or a Charlotte Flair. That's what Cody and I were talking about on Out of Pocket earlier today. But the fact that Penta gets a standalone debut next week, I think in 7 days we won't be disappointed.
And I'll even piggyback that. A lot of the commotion on the internet over these last couple of weeks were, please, for the love of everything, Triple H, please don't put Penta in the LWO verse. And it looks like he is not going to be inserted with the LWO, so we don't have to worry about that. He is going to get the shine as a single star that he deserves. I'm excited for it. I know next week on Raw, it's already slated to be a massive follow-up show. Tonight's massive debut. Overall, I think the show went exactly as we planned. He told you earlier today on Out of Pocket that Roman was going to win. Congratulations. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. ZWC, shout out to good brother. Netflix and chill has taken on a new meaning for wrestling fans. Ain't that the truth? Suplex and chill, DDT, and insert
workshop
some sort of
sexual
innuendo. We'll workshop it. We'll get back to you. I know I like Netflix, Raw and Netflix, Netflix and Raw, how you doing, little Raw? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm doing great. I feel great. Shout out to ZWC. Loves the new look. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, indeed. If you haven't kept up with the Nightcap, if this is your first time viewing the Nightcap here on Boom Broadcast, do me a favor. Go subscribe real quick if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, don't go anywhere. Stay on Facebook and or Twitter. I'm not referring to the Bird app here as X. It is always and forever Twitter to your boy here at Mouthing Off with Mike and at Boom Broadcasting. Listen, go follow me. Go subscribe to Boom Broadcasting. After this, you can go catch up all on the Nightcap shenanigans. There have been so many shenanigans. We made some changes here. A little facelift. I figure it was with the times here, Prez. I figure, listen, I'm gonna tap into the budget before the year, before we get deep into the year, before you start allocating funds elsewhere. So I figured, let me get into the budget. Let me get some new graphics. Let's get some new feelings here. And yes, in fact, the background here tonight on the Nightcap, that is in fact the Los Angeles city skyline. So every episode of the Nightcap, you will see the city that we are in, that we are talking about in your background to remind you it's the details. The devil's in the details, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start, ladies and gentlemen, because if you smell what the mics are cooking here tonight on the Nightcap, ladies and gentlemen, The Rock has returned. Not the final boss, not the high chief as many had speculated, Mike, but as good old Rock, shaking hands, kissing Cody crybabies, as I'm sure the Bloodline fans were not a fan of seeing The Rock hug Cody Rhodes tonight, and just hyping up the crowd. What did you think about this whole thing tonight here, Mike, with The Rock?
So this was interesting, and I wondered how they were going to approach the first ever Raw on Netflix episode. And what I saw from this promo was The Rock was basically probably told by Netflix officials, hey, we want The Rock there. We want him to be goody-goody, shake hands, kiss babies, and, do all the good things, right? And what this also told me is The Rock, the last time we really saw him on programming, he was a bad guy. Like last year during WrestleMania, he and Roman were the heels going up against Cody and Seth, and they were trying to defend the bloodline. But give it 8 months and everything's changed. Everything has changed. Because Roman's no longer a heel. He's a babyface. So why would The Rock and Roman be at odds in? So if Roman's a face and, rescues the bloodline from Solo's grasp, why wouldn't The Rock come out and, shake hands with Roman Reigns and, be like, hey, Cody's done a really good job. He's making me a lot of money with TKO. He handed off the People's Championship belt, which was a big symbol of his heel character. So I think this was them getting The Rock to be a babyface for these appearances, for this media. And if they ever need to turn him heel again, then they'll do so.
Interesting takes here. I don't know. I took this whole thing tonight as just The Rock kind of dialing down. I don't think this was The Rock, quote unquote. This was The Rock, but this was like Diet Rock. He didn't have the
Diet Dwayne.
Right, Diet Dwayne here tonight. I don't think he had that same mana, slap the forearm. He was drinking some Terramana, but I don't think he had the same mana he did on the road to WrestleMania 40 here tonight. I don't know if it was just him trying to dial it back a little bit, just because he doesn't want to take away from the shine of the talent and the moment here, because he is The Rock. He's larger than life. He's, one of the most recognizable, let alone wrestlers, just entertainers, superstars of the world. You show the picture of a Rock to someone who's been living under a rock, and they'll tell you, oh, that's The Rock. So nevertheless, I don't know. Something was off here, because I think there's more to this, and I think it's the ultimate. This is the long game, right? What was the thing that we heard all last year, Mike, on the way to WrestleMania? Everything's about the long game this, the long game that. They're playing the long game, long-term storytelling. I think that's what it is with this. I think everything we saw tonight is going to be the part one and the start. This is your starting point. And then I think wherever we end up when we talk April 19th and 20th is where we'll talk about the finish. So I still think there's more here that has yet to be unveiled. And I think because overall, you still have that final boss. He still has some bad blood with people. And whether it is because he's on the board of directors or not, I still think there's something down the pipeline here.
Down the pipeline? Let's see what Dwayne or The Rock or whatever we want to call him cooks.
Whatever he wants,
baby.
Whatever he wants. Joking. Wayne, shout out to Wayne, host of Sideline Savant on Boom Broadcasting. I mean, liked Raw more than I did, which is rare. Shout out to good brother Jordan. Figure 4 and 4. All right. I like it. 6.5 for me, fellas. Tribal Rules match was great. Disappointed we didn't get a last woman standing. Rollins and Punk delivered. Yeah, quick switch up on that last woman standing match. I think we were all talking about it in the backstage chat with Booking Like a Mark, Rick 8-Bit, our Four Sides of the Ring brothers. We were talking about how this was supposed to be Last Woman Standing, and then it never was. That was it. No, it wasn't a thing anymore. Shout out to our Four Sides of the Ring brothers here. Booking Like a Mark. Here's a hot take for the people here. Favorite superstar of all time, but his appearance should mean something. Riding around the ring on his bike just to high-five Rhea was a waste of time in his opinion. We're gonna unpack that. Hold this thought, folks. Hold the pitchforks and the flaming pitchforks here. Hold that thought, because I have a little bit more I want to talk about that. CM Punk merch on, not Cody. Has Mike moved on in 2025? Listen, you know me. I got a whole lot of WWE professional wrestling merch. You could use my WWE shop affiliate link. Maybe use Boom Broadcasting's Fanatic affiliate link. Get you some gear. Maybe get you some playoff football gear. There's your cheap plug of the night. There you go, SmackDown Hotel. Next week, I'm hoping for Penta and Io Sky face-to-face in a backstage promo. Listen, Nathan, when we're talking Penta and Io Sky, let's get nuts. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Let's throw Chelsea Green in the mix and give us a triple threat. Good old Lucha Underground call back here. That was Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Shout out to Sean, host of Wrestling of Destiny and It's Things here on Boom Broadcasting. They had to make a Rock a babyface. He's going to be the ambassador for WWE on Netflix, but just hate it because his best work has always been as a heel, especially as the final boss. I agree. Sean, you hit the nail on the head.
Sean knows what he's talking about. Fellow
I'm sure
wrestling podcast host.
I'm sure Sean's going to have a lot of things that we may not pick up here tonight that he'll be dropping on Wrestling of Destiny Saturday morning. So make sure you tune in to that and see Sean's full thoughts. Those glasses of the Rock wore makes him look like the creepy uncle who tried to get you in on a Ponzi scheme. I'm going to be honest with you, ZWC. I didn't know where that sentence was ending, and I had to hesitate for a sec to read it before I finished that sentence. Yes, agreed. It looks like he's trying to get me in on some pyramid scheme marketing, some Amway, some Forex trading. I don't know.
Is Raw on Netflix a Ponzi scheme?
Somebody call up. Somebody check in to see where Bernie Madoff's ass is. Listen, can we get a yeet? Yeet. Shout out to the yeet. I was at SmackDown Friday. Got to see Tiffany cash in. Shout out. I got to yeet all over myself, so I'm happy. We got to yeet tonight. Props to all the adults who have stayed up past their bedtimes. 100%. And I agree with Booking. Mike, we have to talk about a tribal combat. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, the Ula Fala, the bloodline, the family, the heritage, all the marbles were on the line here tonight. Everything was chaos. We had Tama Tonga. Yeah. We had Solo Sikoa, Mr. I Love You, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. We had Sammy Uso and Jimmy Uso. And Roman Reigns has won Tribal Combat. Mike, did you see this going where it went tonight?
I saw myself having more coffee, but I guess this isn't the bottomless mimosas deal. It obviously comes to an end. Like all good things. Like Raw on USA.
Raw.
Like Raw on USA. Dude, I had Cody on Out Pocket earlier today from Drew Code Sports Talk, and we were talking, and I'd watched SmackDown from Friday, and I was like, you know what? Like, I could totally see a scenario where Paul Heyman cost Roman the Tribal Chief spot. I totally saw that coming. I could have seen Paul Heyman aligning with Solo Sikoa, and that didn't happen. But, dude, I was very critical about this not being the main event. But the way they did it and how we can look back in 20, 30 years and say the first ever match on the Raw on Netflix era was Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, we'll be able to remember one of the greatest times in professional wrestling. And I think this match delivered. To me, as good as the other matches were of the night, this was the best match of the night. And I know it didn't go the full hour because you had the Triple H promo at the beginning, you had The Rock come out, but to have the first hour really dedicated to the bloodline and that entire story was phenomenal. And the fact that Roman has his Ula Fala back. I mean, dude, Like, what happens now? Like so many people in the audience, like some of them were new, some of them were casual, some of them were diehard, and I don't think anybody knows or understands like what's next, but I think we're all ready for it.
We know what's next, ladies and gentlemen. We know
Is it?
that Roman Reigns is about to be on one of the most diabolical runs of his career. This man has so many enemies, threats, haters. He's got vendettas with half the SmackDown roster. About 2/3, about 1/3 of the Raw roster right now has got beef with Mr. Roman Reigns. Everybody across Raw and SmackDown does not like Roman Reigns. There is bad blood. You got Kevin Owens. You've got who I've billed the bounty hunter, the bloodline bounty hunter himself, Drew McIntyre. You've got just about a laundry list of people. Seth Rollins on that list as well. People are going to be coming for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has a serious amount of business that he has to take care of in 2025 for him to finally, kind of cleanse his soul in a way, I guess. There's a lot of things, a lot of people he's wrong over those 4 years, over that was record-breaking title run that he had. So you gotta start strong on a debut episode, and I think this was the right choice. Albeit, sure, I could have seen this main eventing, but I think Seth and Punk was the right decision. That was a fantastic finish tonight. Roman Reigns wins, and after the match is said and done, here comes The Rock, ladies and gentlemen. The Rock appears, takes his ass down to that ring, places the Hula Fala around the only tribal chief's neck, and they get the dap going here. Nice solid dap. Look at that. Look at the veins, the mana here. Mana showing here. And now we're all led to believe that The Rock has no involvement in WrestleMania. There's way more to this than meets the eye. Look at The Rock's face. Yeah, he's smiling. Look at Paul in the background. Like, let's break this down, Mike. Look at Paul in the background. He's kind of like looking like, I don't trust this. Roman, also, if you look at Roman's face, he's not happy like they were when they were teaming up on the way to WrestleMania 40. This is a very skeptical Roman Reigns. And this is a very serious looking Rock. Like, he's kind of got a smirk, but not really. I think, you want to talk about a picture being 1,000 words here? I think this picture right here, this tells a lot here. And I think a lot can be said here, where I think there's some skepticism here coming from Roman Reigns, and especially Paul. Paul doesn't know what his intentions are, it looks like. I think there's more than meets the eye on that photo, man. I think there's more here.
I'm not going to be mean, but I think you're reading a little too much into it. I mean, throw that picture back up. Throw that picture back up for the people. That way they don't have to look at my face made for radio, or at least a YouTube channel. But look at this. This looks like the end
Shut up, you handsome devil.
Aw, thank you, babe. Look at this photo. This looks like the ending of one of the Rock's Fast and Furious movies. I mean, this is end of scene. Credits are about to roll. They just beat the bad guys. And Roman, for years, just wanted to be acknowledged. Now, back 11 years ago, when Roman Reigns, actually 10 years ago, when Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble and The Rock tried to acknowledge him, the fans weren't ready to acknowledge him. The fans weren't ready. And
no, absolutely not.
And now, 10 years later, Roman accomplishes something. Shout out Rick 8-Bit. Shout out Rick 8-Bit.
Without you, my friend.
Hey, and they'll tell them all about it when you see him again. Now, we probably will see The Rock and Roman see each other again. But for now, this is, we beat the bad guys. In The Rock's words, we got him. And Only real people know what that was referencing
Oh,
right there.
no way, dude.
Hey, it's the Nightcap, right?
Nightcap, baby.
But
I haven't even
this was
started doing my live.
like, you saw how much relief came upon Roman's face when The Rock acknowledged him, Paul Heyman acknowledged him, the crowd was acknowledging him, like, all was right in the world, and I'm so excited to see, like, what happens next.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm standing on business. You can call me crazy. You can whatever. You can't call me anything other than crazy. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm standing on business. It is January 6th. It is 2025. We were 103 days away till WrestleMania 41. The Rock and Roman is happening at WrestleMania. I'm telling you right now. Listen, let me talk to you here real quick before we move on and before I start crying here on the Nightcap. Let's talk about a few noticeable details that I really wanted to talk about here earlier in the show. So, first things first, new commentary desk. Mike, love it, hate it, thoughts?
It was interesting because, later on in the night when there was a pedigree on the table didn't break. So I'm very curious, are these sturdier announce tables that we have? I mean, I love the look, I love the layout, but are we never going to see a table crash on Monday Night Raw?
I'm sure it'll happen. I'm sure it'll happen, but I think they just wanted that presentation here tonight. Let's talk about the building, man. I keep saying it. This Intuit Dome is a special arena. Look at that jumbotron. Look at the people. Look at the vibes. Everything, man. The entrance stage. They're coming through a tunnel, basically. A little something, something. There's a show on Wednesdays that has tunnels, you know what I'm saying? Different kind of tunnel, Shout out to our good friends over at Four Sides of the Ring for that call out here today. And of course, last but certainly not least, the referees, new jerseys for the refs here. I like them. I think they're sick. I think they're sleek. I think the ring looks sleek.
Dude, everything about this feels bigger now. Like, those look like legitimate, like, official attire. The mat with all the sponsors, but it didn't take away from anything in the ring. Now we have different prop bets on, what logo are you going to get pinned on?
Yes.
I mean, it's fun, it's exciting. It's probably helping a lot with the Netflix being able to pay so much for Monday Night Raw. It's probably helping with not as many commercials throughout the evening. And it just, again, yeah, UFC does a lot of sponsors on the mat too, which just makes it feel more logistic and realistic. And here's the thing WWE has capitalized on since Triple H has come in: the sponsorships on the mat, taken from the NFL with the wrestlers entering the arena during the day. Like, all of these like little tweaks has turned WWE into, what everybody would say, like, oh, that's sports entertainment. Oh, and it's like dismissive. But now introducing it to a new audience, introducing it to Netflix, and you're presenting it in this way, you're making it feel like a legitimate sport that people can get into.
There it is. There it is. It legitimizes things. Four Sides of the Ring. The match is definitely a banger, but I feel like Solo should have taken the win. No. Couldn't. I don't think it should have happened. I'm glad Roman won. ZWC, to paraphrase the show heels, shout out to Stephen Amell. He was live in attendance. If you can't go last, you want to go first. Tribal Combat was a great opening match. Yeah, I mean, when you look back on this in 10 years from now and you're like, what was the match that started? What was the first match on Netflix for Raw? Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa in Tribal Combat. That's a match you're not going to forget. Shout out to our good brother Dami Feds. He's got the speakers on blast. We're mouthing off here tonight. You're getting a mouthful of mics here tonight. Was an odd Rock handing him the Ulafala after the ending of Bad Blood. Sadly, I can't forget that moment. Yeah, I'm gonna let Bad Blood just stay in the background at this point. I thought we would get a Hikuleo or possibly Zilla tonight. Four Sides of the Ring follows up and says he thinks Hikuleo got hurt, so I guess that's pushed back. And lastly, to cover on the Roman stuff, backstage later in the show, Roman Reigns went into a locker room with the WWE 2K25 logo on it. And it looks like from the pre-orders and wish list on Xbox Marketplace, it looks like Roman Reigns is going to be the cover athlete of WWE 2K25. And January 27th will be the next time we see Roman Reigns. And that is, in fact, the Raw before the Royal Rumble. And that's the Raw right after Saturday night's main event. So a lot of things you're going to have to keep a close eye on it. Valid point here. Solo didn't acknowledge Roman Reigns here tonight. I'm assuming we'll get an official acknowledgement ceremony at some point, or Solo and maybe Jacob Fatu hits Solo out the group, and Solo has to crawl back with his tail between his legs to the bloodline. There's a lot of different scenarios here. They've emphasized a lot on the fact that Jacob and Tama and Tonga are wild cards. They're criminals. They should never have been invited into WWE. You know, they're bloodthirsty. There's things to keep an eye out. What do you think here, Mike? Does Netflix want the OTC or the Tribal Chief?
And that's a great question. Is Roman officially a Raw superstar? I mean, he's going to show up in 3 weeks on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Is that the end of the transfer window? Like, is this officially closed? Is Roman officially transferring? Does the rest of the bloodline transfer? Is Solo and Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, are they just going to stay on SmackDown for a little bit? There's a lot of questions regarding where everyone in the bloodline goes, especially with Sammy moving over to SmackDown, apparently. That's something you got to look out for. But, hey, I feel like Roman can be both the OTC and the Tribal Chief.
I agree. I honestly agree.
Listen, I like when you
know,
agree with me.
You like when I agree with you. Of course you do, because we're on the same page. All right, so let's talk about it. The Rock will be on NXT New Year's Evil tomorrow night on CW. So Eddie Thorpe, watch your back. Number 2, January 27th, Roman Reigns will be back. I'm assuming Roman's staying on SmackDown. I have no idea, unless they're gonna play this game of Roman's gonna show up on both shows. I have no idea what they're doing, but it looks like he'll be back on Raw, and it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, hold on a sec. I didn't get a box of Kleenex. I might start slobbering in my sweatshirt here, but ladies and gentlemen, John Cena officially has kicked off his farewell tour here tonight on SmackDown. The last time is, in fact, now. And ladies and gentlemen, there's one thing you'll know about me. You know I love me, my Cody Rhodes. You know I love me some CM Punk. You know I love me some Jeff Hardy. But there's another man that I hold really near and dear to me, and that is the GOAT, ladies and gentlemen, the 16-time world champion. That is John Cena here. The last time is now, ladies and gentlemen. And I am sad. And I need more time. I'm not ready for this. All right. I'm not ready for him to close the door on his career. As selfish as that may make me sound, Mike, John Cena, what did you think about this here tonight and him officially entering the Royal Rumble February 1st?
Well, I thought we were going to see an impromptu match for John Cena. I saw the knee pads on. I was like, somebody's going to interrupt him. We're going to see John Cena's losing streak come to an end in a quick attitude adjustment on Raw on Netflix. And unfortunately, that wasn't it. But Cena can still cut a promo. Almost felt a little, he's letting his acting skills that he's acquired spill into his promo work a little bit tonight. But pretty apparent that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I hope we see him more throughout this month, especially since this is his final year and they don't just hold him off until the Royal Rumble. But I don't see him winning the Royal Rumble. He's on the promotional stuff for Elimination Chamber. I think that's his quote-unquote final opportunity to win the Elimination Chamber and to go on to a main event at WrestleMania for a potential 17th World Championship, which would be the recognized record.
He's got to do it. He's got to break the record, man. There's nobody else.
So
he's got to break the record, man. I need John Cena to. I need 2008 Royal Rumble return John Cena, clean house. Bury, I get the golden shovel out. Bury whoever, I don't care who he buries on his path to 17. I get the platinum shovel, the diamond shovel. I'll buy a couple shovels. Bury whoever you want to bury. I squash whoever. If he squashes Jacob Fatu,
So
I don't give,
hypocritical right now.
I don't
So
give a
hypocritical.
shit. He
Are
could
you kidding?
squash. He could squash whoever. As long as when it's said and done, he is 17-time world champion, and I will do backflips, cartwheels on the Nightcap. I'll probably end up hurting myself majorly, but I'll do them. I'll attempt them. He's got to do it, bro. Win the Royal Rumble. Win the Royal Rumble. He's winning the Rumble. He's entering one.
No, he's not.
Rick, I don't think he's entering
No,
one,
he's
but I'm gonna listen. He's gonna tie Stone Cold for 3-time winner. That's happening. He's gonna win. I don't think he's winning at 1. Dare I say, I don't think he's coming in at 30. I think they're gonna do an ode to his WrestleMania, the first Rumble he won, I think, which was at 27. Maybe someone can fact check me at some point in the day. I don't care. You can. I could be wrong on that. Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, or Elimination Chamber.
It's got to be
Royal
Elimination
Rumble.
Chamber.
It's
No,
Royal
it's not.
Rumble.
It's
It's
not.
Royal Rumble.
Dude, why is he on the promotional stuff for Elimination Chamber the last 3 months?
Because he's doing the Cena
What?
farewell tour. It's like when Mariano Rivera retired from baseball. Every team gave him a gift. It's the same principle here. He's gonna go to Canada one last time, say, "Hey, oh Canada, I love you." He's gonna have a maple leaf inspired shirt. I'm gonna have to buy it on WWE Shop, and then he's gonna see you guys. Thanks for supporting me, John Cena. That's it.
He's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. And
Okay.
you know why? Because he loses the Royal Rumble.
Well, then who the hell's winning the Royal Rumble then?
I don't know.
Well, then, if it ain't Cena,
It's
then
not
who?
Cena.
It's Cena. It's Cena.
Cena.
Da, 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 da. It's John Cena.
Well, what if it's Roman?
I'm not mad
Roman
at
Cody 3?
I'm not for fuck's sake.
Roman Cody 3.
Let that
Cena
breathe.
Gunther.
Let them breathe. I mean, I'm not opposed to Cena Gunther. But listen, I think Gunther versus Goldberg. I don't think Gunther has the title at WrestleMania. Goldberg has already said on record he is having one more match. That match is going to be against Gunther. There's no reason for Goldberg and Gunther to have that interaction.
He'll be in Atlanta when they do that.
When the hell is the next pay-per-view in Atlanta? Premium Live Event.
I don't know, and I don't care when
Bad Blood 2025.
If Goldberg had it on a live event, I wouldn't bat an eye.
Listen,
if it was not televised, I would be okay.
It could be a house show. I don't care. It could be a house show in front of 10 people. I'm not watching it. I don't care. Which match do you think actually wins? Cena actually wins to get his title shot. I'm saying Royal Rumble. I'm gonna stand on business. Royal Rumble. Stand on Royal Rumble. In reality, Cena should really have been beating the record. He should have beaten it a few years ago. 100%. He should have. Dare I say, I feel like they're also trying to get Randy up there too. I don't know if they're trying to angle them towards it at some point for the record or something, but Randy's got a couple titles away. So I think Cena should have beaten it a couple years ago. I do agree. I think it should have already happened. I think Cena should have already won the IC title. I think when he came back 3 years ago in 21, I think the IC title should have been his in 21, and he could have ran the open challenges for a couple weeks, couple months. Nevertheless, neither here nor there. Sean doesn't want to see Cena break the Nature Boy Ric Flair's record. I can understand that. Sean. I can understand how a lot of wrestling fans may not want to see that record broken, but I think in the modern day of professional wrestling, especially in WWE, they're all about breaking records. They're all about breaking records, folks. Gunther did it. Roman almost did it. You had Rhea almost do it. So it's all about breaking records at this point. At this point, Cena's beating Seth. They have everyone else doing it. So that's out of pocket.
Salty.
He'll fight at Elimination Chamber, but Hollywood might not want him to risk it in the Elimination Chamber match. I'll be real with you, Rick. I don't think Cena has any Hollywood commitments this year. I think he is WWE full-time.
I hope he is.
He is. It's time to move on. It is time to move on. It's time to move on, and I think it's time for Cena to hold the record. Cena's winning the Rumble. Wayne's on my side. I got the commission on my side. So
Yeah, doesn't mean anything.
that's it.
Y'all
That
can
means a
both
lot.
be
That
wrong.
means a lot.
Y'all
That
can
means a
both
lot.
be wrong.
WWE will be in ATL on the 27th, so we may see Goldberg then for a promo. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see Goldberg, and I'm sure he'll end up calling somebody out. I'm going to touch on it. Logan Paul is now officially 100% a Raw superstar. Cool. That's all I have to say about it. Cool. Good job, Logan Paul. You're finally committing to something 100% of your brain. And it's a damn shame, because if I was half the athlete this guy was, I would have been a full-time professional wrestler, because this guy has it. He has it. I hate to admit it. You might click off, but Logan Paul has it. And now if he's going to even put 100% of himself into it, oh boy, that man is going to be on demon time pretty soon. No doubt in my mind.
Cool.
100%
Logan was in the crowd. Good job.
That's it. But I'm saying 100% he's committed to being a Raw superstar now. That's big for the stock, I think. I don't want to say it, but I digress. Throw Matt Riddle back for Goldberg. Yeah, let's listen. We got Travis Scott smoking blunts on Raw tonight on Netflix. Might as well throw Matt Riddle back in the mix here. The record gets broken and we get a spinner belt. Oh yeah, Sean, absolutely. The commemorative spinner belt is going to be insane. I'm gonna put a second mortgage on the house just to buy it. The Women's World Heavyweight Championship match: Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. The only women's match here tonight on the Raw Netflix debut. They pushed the Intercontinental Championship women's match till next week. I'm 50-50 on it. We'll talk about it. Mike, what did you think about the match? And what did you think about the subsequent Rhea Ripley as the new champ?
Well, it felt like Roman Solo was a finality. And it felt like Rhea and Liv, as much as, good old Pops, Mac Davis doesn't want to admit it. This was the finality of Liv and Rhea. And I said it on Out of Pocket. I said it last week. I've said it all along. Like, Liv gets the guy. Liv gets Judgment Day. Rhea gets her title back. And Liv versus Rhea is done. Rhea kicks Dirty Dom and the Nads. And, we get to leave. Like, that was the finality of that feud. And we probably get to see one go to Raw, one go to SmackDown, and that's it. I mean, that's it. That is the finality picture right there. And you should just leave this alone. You got Becky Lynch about to come back. Who knows when Charlotte Flair comes back? You have people to mix it up with, like Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton and Bayley. Bayley was backstage tonight talking to Adam Pearce. Like, there's so many others that they can create magic with, and Rhea and Liv were great, and this was the perfect way to send this feud off.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Liv and Rhea is not over just yet. I know. I might be wrong.
Bad news, but it is.
It's bad news for most of the people viewing the Nightcap here tonight and most of social media. Liv, dare we forget, Liv Morgan has a rematch clause. She gets a rematch for her title. There's a premium live event network special that takes place in approximately 19 days. That being Saturday night's main event in San Antonio, Texas. What is a great main event for Saturday night's main event? Liv versus Rhea, one final time, last woman standing, or whatever stipulation you throw it. That's it right there, folks. I'm telling you, there's one more coming. There's one more match between these two women. But if there's not, then I hope we start seeing some cracks really open and the fault line give way to the Judgment Day story, because it is time for the Judgment Day to break up. It is time to see Finn Balor go his way with JD McDonough. It is time to go see Carlito do some things on his own. It is time for Liv and Raquel to go do things, maybe with Dirty Dom. And it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for WWE to put the machine behind Dominic Mysterio. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Did you hear that crowd go ballistic when Dom took that riptide? I wish I could post it. I wish I could show the clip, but I'm afraid WWE will copyright my ass, or Netflix will copyright my ass, or someone will copyright my ass.
And we ain't doing that.
We ain't doing that. It's not over. And if I'm wrong, I hope I am wrong, because I do want it to be over. I do want to see Rhea start mixing it up with other women. Have Rhea wrestle more on television. That's a big thing for 2025 for sure. But you can't deny the star power that is Rhea Ripley. And she's going to carry the women's division into the Netflix is Raw era. You may be right, Mike. Low key, they owe us the last woman standing match. That's what I'm saying. They advertised it, they took it back, and I think they realized, shit, we have to do one more between these two. Let's make the final one last woman standing, and then Rhea stands tall.
So you could do that, like the last woman standing at Saturday Night's main event, and I wouldn't blink an eye.
I just want to put.
But I do agree with you in terms of, putting the machine behind Dirty Dom, which is why I feel like Rhea stays on Raw. She's the bigger star for Netflix, and Liv goes over to SmackDown with Dirty Dom, and Dominic Mysterio actually gets to thrive on the brand that really elevated his father's career, SmackDown.
Without SmackDown, I don't think Rey Mysterio is the Rey Mysterio we have now. Let's be real here. And then we have to talk about it here, of course. Rhea Ripley, man, after the match, everything is said and done. She gets the ultimate. Ultimate cosign here by the American Badass, The Undertaker. And if you were keen to earlier, Booking Like a Mark had a hot take on this. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get that comment pulled up here, because Mike, what did you think about The Undertaker taking the bike out for a stroll?
Dude, I really want to, touch on this comment right here, because Booking Like a Mark, he is great about supporting all the content we're doing. If you guys haven't checked out his YouTube channel, I'd highly recommend you guys go subscribe to that. He is doing some good work. He and Rick 8-Bit are phenomenal people, phenomenal human beings, and really good content creators that I wanted to shout out here. But he is out of pocket for this comment.
No way.
He is out of pocket for this comment. The Undertaker himself is like, I won't do appearances unless it means something. Okay. So all in all, if the Undertaker is good enough to do an appearance, he knows it means something. Okay. It wasn't too long ago, maybe a couple years back, where there was a big Monday Night Raw episode, and the Undertaker came out and co-signed one Bray Wyatt. And we were very excited for what that meant. What did Undertaker tell Bray Wyatt? What was the future for Bray? And unfortunately for wrestling fans, and big Bray Wyatt fans, as me and Mike are, we never got the full fruition of that conversation, that cosign, that signing on the dotted line. Like, he endorsed Bray Wyatt. And so for this Netflix era for Monday Night Raw, The Undertaker, who was in the first ever main event on Monday Night Raw on USA, he comes out and co-signs Rhea Ripley. He endorses Rhea Ripley. And if you couldn't get any bigger or better than that, I mean, Rhea Ripley is the person to bring that Netflix era and to new heights. So this was not a wasted appearance. The Undertaker co-signing and endorsing Rhea Ripley is going to elevate her even more. And I am so glad that that endorsement didn't, end with Bray Wyatt. Like, he comes out and endorses Rhea Ripley because she's the future. She's got it.
I tweeted it earlier as a joke. After this endorsement by the Undertaker, by the American Badass, this image right here, them doing the arm raise to the backs turned and everything. Look at the crowd, man, above the stage. It's just an incredible sights all around here tonight, man. I'll look at these pictures. I'll go back and watch this Raw any day of the week. I thought it was that good for me. It just something about it felt different. But if you're getting a cosign from the Undertaker, the American Badass, Big Evil here, I got some news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Rhea Ripley is never losing again. She is never losing again. He took away from the match, in my honest opinion. Those last two Riptides felt rushed. They could make time for him to come out. In a game of minutes here with tonight's show, I didn't think they were pressed for time whatsoever. I think they had all the time in the world. Do I think the match itself between Rhea and Liv, do I think they should have gotten 5 extra minutes? You're absolutely damn right I do. You're absolutely damn right I do. Could we have cut a certain segment by a clown? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a segment that I'll touch on very briefly. Hulk Hogan's ass getting booed out of the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. That could have been an email. That did not need to be a segment. That could have been a quick video package on Twitter type vibe. You could have given us 5 extra minutes here in this match. I do think the ending did get a little rushed. I don't think it was because of Undertaker. I think it was just the match itself. They rushed it, I think, when it came to the climax at the end there. Rhea, didn't need that. She's a made star. Cool moment for sure. Another valid statement. I think, a star like Rhea necessarily didn't need that endorsement. I think it would have been cooler if maybe he did that with Damian Priest next week. There's a lot of comp to, Priest and Undertaker. And, you've seen all the things about, with what they call Priest on social media and everything. But nevertheless, I think that would have been cool seeing it, with Priest. This is a tough one. Overall, I think it was a weird thing, and I think it was like who is a character that is badass or spooky that we can have Taker co-sign, and they were like, Rhea, F it, throw it out there. You know what I mean? I feel like that was just for a pop at the end of the day. You gotta give the fans what they want, right? Hogan got booed out of the building, and I chuckled like a small kid. I stole this picture here from Twitter. Actually, I should say I borrowed it. Shout out to the people on Twitter. They had their captions on. They had the captions. They had the captions on. And the captions got crowd booing. That's the only time I will show that leather skinned. I can't stand Hulk Hogan.
Can we can we not
I would have rather have seen Jimmy Hart instead of Hogan. I would have rather just seen Jimmy Hart.
I don't
boo.
Exactly.
Shout
exactly.
Boo. Boo.
Shadow,
Boo,
we love
man.
you, my friend. By the way, we don't want to give him more time than he got tonight on Monday Night Raw.
No,
but,
absolutely not. That's the end of it.
I do want to say thank you to the crowd. I mean, I've never been a Hogan guy anyways. But yeah, exactly what Rick 8-Bit said. I just think this is going to be sour in terms of that partnership that WWE's made with his Real American Beer. And I wouldn't be surprised that within the next week they go back on it based on that reaction.
I hope so. I hope next week there is a Broken Skull IPA advertisement in place of that beer. I'll never buy that beer. I'll never try that beer. I'll never support that beer whatsoever. As there is air in my lungs breathing. Much love to Shadow. I know Shadow's got his spotlight with Shadow. He's got a big episode coming down the pipeline here. Make sure you go check him out on social media. Another awesome content creator that we have all become friends here. You see a lot of the comments here from some of our content creator friends. That'll be the last time Hogan appears live. It's back to video packages. Yeah. In the words of the legend himself, shout out, rest in peace, the Iron Sheiky, baby. And put some money in the tip jar for 2025 in the swear jar, Mike. So cover your ears if you're under the age of 18. Oh, fuck. Did you just censor me? Did you just censor me?
I think that was
censor.
Netflix. I think that was Netflix.
In the words of Cheeky Baby, fuck Hulk Hogan. You can't censor that one. Too late for that one, baby. What'd you do, Mike? You're messing with my setup here. Don't do that. Don't touch things. Don't touch things. If you can look, but you can't touch, because Nikki Bella was in attendance here tonight on Raw. Vanessa Hudgens was in attendance. Macaulay
Topanga.
Culkin with Topanga. Macaulay Culkin got one of the loudest pop. Macaulay Culkin got louder cheers than Hulk Hogan in the Intuit Dome tonight. O'Shea Jackson Jr. was in the building. Shout out to Danielle Fishel, Topanga in the
And
house.
Eric. Eric was next to her.
And Eric. Yeah. There's a lot of celebs in the building, wrestlers, everything. Ton of stuff. Ton. Ashton Kutcher, Seth Green, Nikki Bella, Michelle McCool, Lyra Valkyria, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rey Mysterio, Reppin' Eddie Guerrero. I think I got everybody.
I mean, we got pretty close right there.
I think we got everybody.
But it was fun.
He's going to spill the beans. January 30th, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Shadow sits down with Jimmy Corderas. Shameless plug, LOL. Yeah, shout out. Go check out that guy, Shadow. Spotlight with Shadow. I can't wait to hear Jimmy Corderas and some of the stories that he will tell from his tales on the road. We got Jey Uso Yeet versus the Bloodline bounty hunter himself, Drew McIntyre. We got Travis Scott smoking a little sage, bringing a little sage to the ring, as Pat McAfee likes to say. Little some libations, little shout out to Mary Jane. Never in my life, Mike, did I think I would see Travis Scott come down to the ring with Jey Uso in LA while holding a custom hardcore championship title while smoking a blunt or a joint. And no, we do not condone the use of substances, but iconic. Shout out to this. This beat anything from the Attitude Era. Travis Scott with the joint coming down a ramp in the middle of the crowd. Dog, I would have been losing my mind if he walked past me.
Dude, I was like, really? I mean, I would have preferred that like spot from Snoop Dogg, but I mean but also very interesting. I thought he was going to do the entrance theme, and we never heard it.
Yes, we did.
We heard the music for Raw on Netflix.
The Raw Netflix theme played in the beginning of the show. Like it was very brief. It's called Four something, four by four or something. I heard a very, very small snippet of it during the during the Raw opening ceremony. Overall,
there was no video to go along with it.
Not this week.
I want to see that. That was one thing I was a little disappointed about for the production.
I want to see. I did hear Across the Nation, dog. Across the Nation. So I was marking out like a kid, dude. I was like, oh my God. I was losing it.
Can we just go back to that as the real theme, please?
Oh, please. I would love it. No, but I'm down with the rap. I'm so excited as the theme for Dynamite. Saturday night's all right for Fighting for Collision. I'm cool with Megan Thee Stallion for SmackDown. Was it Travis Scott or Timu R-Truth? Now, you know what was a missed opportunity here tonight, Mike, while we're talking the subject of R-Truth? I'm so happy you brought him up, ZWC. This was a very big missed opportunity for R-Truth to have a segment with like a celebrity backstage in the crowd, something funny where he's like, oh, you're so-and-so. Like with Macaulay Culkin, it would have been so funny if he was like, you're the dude from a completely different movie, not Home Alone. Like I thought that would have been fun. Like I think an R-Truth segment was the only thing missing here tonight from this Raw Netflix debut. I would have loved to seen something with R-Truth. I am forgetting Vanessa Hudgens. She was also at SmackDown last Friday. I did mention Braun Breaker. I did get the dogs. I never forget my dogs. Side note, was it weird that Netflix played a cell phone company's commercial that dissed Cricket Wireless? There's no love or hate when it comes to ad revenue sales, four sides of the ring. You're gonna see contradictory commercials all the time. It's a bad look having Cactus Jack come to the ring with Mr. D. Oh boy, all right. And we're gonna go ahead and did not read that one. 4 sides. I was trusting you. Aren't they both? Oh boy. Oh boy. If we're talking about anything related, I watched The Rock take shots on Instagram with Cody Rhodes, take shots out of the bottle of Terramana. And then I watched this man get behind the wheel and drive off of Monday Night Raw, saying he's gonna be at NXT tomorrow. So I don't know what we're doing. We're so bad. This beats anything in the Attitude Era, hands down. Should we at least talk about Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre, Mike?
It was interesting because I was like, this is probably the match where you would have a heel win, and it didn't happen, but it was on a very, subtle crucifix pin. It was almost like it wasn't a clean, okay, Jay definitively won. So I'm interested to see like if this is going to lead to a Saturday night's main event match between Jay and Drew or the Royal Rumble. I mean, this is far from over.
Far from over is 100% right, dude. This is way far from over. Jey Uso rolled them up and got the 1, 2, 3, and Drew looked like this man was ready to rip his throat out. Drew continues to be Drew's worst enemy. Drew's McIntyre, he just needs to look in the mirror, Mike, and realize that he is his own worst enemy. It always falls on him, man. And ladies and gentlemen, last but certainly not least, a main event that is almost a decade plus in the making. It is the visionary. It is Seth frickin' Rollins versus the voice of the voiceless, the best in the world, the straight edge mega star CM Punk, in what I could only tell you as a main event for Raw on Netflix that absolutely delivered for me and then some. Mike, talk to the people first.
Dude, this was a good match. I was worried having the first one on a Monday Night Raw, even if it was the Netflix debut. I was worried about it being the main event. But it delivered. Punk hitting the curb stomp, Seth Rollins hitting the GTS. Again, the pedigree spot that didn't break the table. And then Seth getting hit with the GTS and then falling into another GTS. They did really good. I was very pleased. And with Punk winning the first one, Seth is going to come back and probably go down a spiral like Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. And Seth's going to go full heel for this program that's probably culminating at this year's WrestleMania.
Well, listen, CM Punk was the right winner, Mike. I'm sorry to break it to you. I understand that, Seth Rollins. I love me some Seth Rollins. We are a Seth Rollins.
The commish will not agree with you.
The commish will not agree with me. Neither will Mrs. Commish. But listen, Punk was the right winner. This is the multiple. This is what we needed from Punk. This is the run that we were supposed to get last year before it was derailed from us unfairly at the Royal Rumble with the weak tricep coming off the bone like a 13-hour smoked rib from a nice barbecue spot in Texas, falling off the bone much like the ribs these days. I was worried because when I saw that, I was like, oh man, CM Punk we're gonna deal with the injury riddled veteran. Tonight CM Punk looked like $1 million. He's celebrating right now on the press conference, eating himself some Randy's donuts. He's having himself a merry time. Cut an incredible promo after the show went off the air. CM Punk's stock never been higher. Coming out with the old Ring of Honor jacket, little ode to his Ring of Honor days, a little ode to the last Geary War in a certain company. There's some parallels there. Just choke the guy a little bit. Did he choke Seth tonight a little bit?
Maybe just a little.
Just a little bit. He might have choked the guy. That's just a little bit. Loved both of these guys using each other's moves, Mike. The intensity was off the roof. There was no BS, lock up to start this match. There was no rest holds. It was two guys who have nothing but pure animosity, distaste, dislike, and hate. Hate. Coming out when that bell rings, out the jump, throwing fists, throwing the fisticuffs. All right. Hard hitting. These boys were working stiff here tonight in this ring. And dare I say, there were some shots between these two where that big boot connected on Seth's face. I said, oh boy, we're working tonight, boys. We're gonna need some ice. We're gonna need a couple ice dips here tonight backstage in LA. This was the perfect, in my personal opinion, first match for this because it sets up the ego and the confidence of Seth Rollins to lose his mind. A guy like Seth can't take a loss like this. His ego can't handle it. And a guy like CM Punk, whose ego is through the roof, bigger than the Empire State Building, bigger than the Sears Tower. He's not a guy who is going to go down and just beat Seth and not talk about it. He's going to rub it in Seth's face week in and week out till Seth probably snaps and links up with two other guys who I would say maybe he links up with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. Maybe he links up with Drew and they just go on a double hate, lot of hate. Hater of the Year 2025 candidates. We already know the Hater of the Year this year was, in fact, Drew McIntyre for 2024. Hater of the Year 2025 early candidates, Seth Rollins and CM Punk here. You know, the Thomas family just don't like Phil. It's like you know us. Wow. Drew, Seth Owens, NWO 3.0, and that'd be quite the dynamic of men. They were throwing some stiff shots. Mike, do we go trilogy? Is there a part 2 looming?
Part 2's got to be Royal Rumble. Or no. Part 2 is probably Elimination Chamber. And then part 3 is at WrestleMania.
I agree to that. Part 2, I think part 1.5, Royal Rumble, they're going to both be in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. Someone eliminates the other. Then I think you got to go part 2 Chamber and then part 3 at WrestleMania, obviously the biggest showcase of the Immortals. And I think you got to figure out a way to get them the main event, man. I don't know how you're going to get that main event spot to them. But it's going to have, that's what Punk wants. That's what Rollins wants. Unless you end up somehow getting the title over to Seth, where my theory where Gunther might be going up against Goldberg could have some weight to it. If Gunther ends up somehow losing that title from now until then, and then maybe you get Seth Punk for the world title main event WrestleMania night 1.
I feel like it'd be very forced to put the championship on either of these guys. Just let them run with this feud and just let it go. Just let it go.
If you can do it in a way where it's woven seamlessly, where somehow Gunther ends up in their trajectory and you can somehow work that out, I think go for it. If not, if you can't naturally do it with the storytelling, then yeah, you're right. Don't force it. Let them cook in this rivalry that they got going on. Mm-hmm. Shadow said, anyone else pissed off The Rock is suddenly a babyface again? It's confusing. I think there's more to that story. I actually did order my John Cena Funko. I had to make sure I picked that up. Mike sounded better than Lillian Garcia these days. Hey, Shadow, that means a lot to me, man. That means a lot to me.
He's talking about me.
He's talking about me.
You talking about me?
He's talking about me. What you talking about, Shadow? Here's the question. Do we need Cyber Saturday or Taboo Tuesday? Yes, we do, Shadow. I have been a firm believer that we should bring back Cyber Sunday, Cyber Tuesday, Taboo Tuesday, one of the other. And I think you could run it in NXT to experiment with it. But I would love, in the day and age of social media, you haven't done this. You haven't done this premium live event since the early 2000s when the internet was just a new concept, when MySpace was just a thing, when AOL Instant Messenger was the rave and the crave. You don't do this in the age of social media where you can literally go on your phone and watch countless videos and rot your brain and learn all about the Costco guys in the span of 6 months. I don't understand why it hasn't happened. I don't know. Was this match better than the Drew match, Mike?
No.
I think it falls right under.
There was so much more going into those Drew matches that, I mean, the WrestleMania come back to me, but the first time they lock up, it was good. It served a purpose. They did go with their storytelling, making sure it wasn't just a bunch of choreographed flips and whatever. It was hard hitting stuff, and they served a purpose in that.
Well, Seth bled a little bit there at the end. We did a little color there from those multiple go to sleeps. Nice little cheek dot there for the boys, for the brand, for the Netflix for the Raw on Netflix. I love these comments. I can't keep up tonight. Shadow wants part 2 or 3 at Chamber. He'll be there. Yes, he will. We did talk about this a couple weeks ago. It's going to be a hell of a show. Part 2, Saturday Night Main Event, Texas. Part 3, WrestleMania. I lean towards something happening at main event, Saturday night's main event. I don't think they'll have a match, but I lean towards a segment being built. Triple threat, Gunther, Punk, Rollins, Goldberg cost Gunther. There's your setup. That I would lose my shit. I would lose it. That'd be the direction. I think Goldberg retires. I think Gunther retires Goldberg. I'm standing on that. Ever since we saw that interaction, everything points to that being the match. Cena wins Money in the Bank. Gunther loses to Goldberg. Cena cashes in, beats the record. This is the loud that Travis had talking. my man was hitting that Travis Scott pack before he commented here. I love it. The IWC would absolutely shit themselves if they got Cyber or Taboo. Oh my God, they would be booking the most ridiculous matches. I would love to see how WWE would try to limit the voting, because you would have to limit it so hard, because you'd have people trying to get Io Sky versus Penta on the show. You'd be having people trying to do hair matches. You'd be having people doing all sorts of stuff. They'd be trying to write in votes for names. That's a dangerous game. Seth and Punk gets 5 big booms. I love you, Sean. Man, Raw on Netflix. It was a hell of a ride here tonight. We now know that for the foreseeable future, Raw will either be 2 to 3 hours in that general ballpark. We don't have any clear cut idea whether Raw will be 2.5 hours, 3 hours. We don't know. Triple H said you like 2, 3, maybe 2, 3. We'll see, whatever the stories need to formulate. So, I love it. So you never know when the Nightcap will be live here on a Monday night. It could be at 10:30. It could be at 11:30. We're still going. It's midnight here. Mike, send the people home. Tell them what's coming down the pipeline here on Boom Broadcasting.
Yeah, well, me and my dad will bring back Dad and the Boys tomorrow, recapping the end of season Dallas Cowboys, that regular season finale against the Commanders. Out of Pocket, we'll be back tomorrow. We might cover a little bit of some Raw on Netflix, a little bit. We'll cover some Tyreek Hill. Also be ranking. If you've seen the top quarter rankings, you'll want to tune in for this with the playoff teams. I don't want to get too detailed about that. But it's quite the time. There's a lot more content happening. So just be sure to subscribe to Boom Broadcasting so you don't miss another Nightcap with all these cool graphics and all the other content we have for you. These guys are putting in a lot of work, and I greatly appreciate them.
What a guy. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute honor and an absolute pleasure to be here tonight on Boom Broadcasting with all of you viewing wherever you are in the world, whether you're here in the United States, whether you're overseas, whether you're wherever, whether you're living under a rock. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been awesome to get to talk with all of you here tonight on wrestling. Make sure you go subscribe to Boom Broadcasting. Go show some love to all of those hardworking people. Go show some love to the commenters here tonight. Booking Like a Mark, Rick 8-Bit, that guy Shadow, Four Sides of the Ring, Wayne the Model, the Commish Thomas. All of these guys are fantastic content creators. They all do different things. They all have their own styles. Please, for the sake of just broadening your horizons, you never know what your cup of tea might be. Like they say, sample a couple different, you never know what you're going to like. Listen, we did a hell of a show tonight. Raw could be 40 minutes, could be 4 hours. Who knows? The Nightcap could be 30 minutes, could be 6 hours. Who knows? If Triple H doesn't censor on Raw, the Nightcap shouldn't get censored on Raw Nightcap. Now, see, that's what I'm saying, Four Sides of the Ring. You got to talk to the Prez. I don't make the rules here. Dallas has out of the playoffs queue. The shocked fans looks around. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's a sore subject here. JK, bud, JK. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Mike, don't roll your eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, this officially concludes the first episode of season 2 of the Nightcap. I will be back Friday night for the Friday night SmackDown Nightcap. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Raw Nightcap. Stay tuned for season 2, the rest of the 2025 calendar year. And thank you all so much for watching the Nightcap. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.